Hello, my name is Edenn Park, and I am a senior medical molecular biology major. I was grown and raised in Southern California, and then I moved to Texas about sophomore year of high school before coming to ORU.
Hi there, my name is Annette, and I recently graduated ORU. I majored in graphic design. And the reason that I decided to go to ORU was that I just knew that God wanted me to be there. And He wanted me to be at a place where I could grow spiritually. And ORU was the perfect place for that. So I took a step of faith and decided to move out of my country and go to ORU, and it was the best decision ever. And I also decided to go for graphic design because I've always loved art. I've always been a very creative person when it comes to arts and design. So it was just like the perfect major for me, and I don't regret studying that at all.
A lot of people do ask me why I chose ORU, and the short answer is because I felt God called me to ORU. I really think that in His own way, despite applying super late to ORU in like January and attending the whole scholarship process and getting to visit campus, I got to experience what ORU was about and like, but I just felt like God was really trying to lead me to come and experience Him in a different way than I have before, and this also kind of goes in with why I chose my major. I think I've always wanted to do something with science, and biology that always interested me, so that's where I was going for. And I have started off as pre-med, so I think when I was applying to ORU and when God was kind of leading me to pick ORU, I just felt in my heart that like if I was going to really study and go into like the medical field, which I don't know where I'm going yet, if it's going to be medical school or not, but if I really wanted to like serve people through medicine, that I just felt like I really need to come to ORU first, and I didn't really know why, but after like taking my first couple of classes at ORU, like my science classes, my core classes, I realized that it was very apparent why He had me here, because the faculty here, the professors that I've interacted and met with, and I've been learning from, how they all love God and they all love science too. So I think it was just a cool thing to understand and really get that experience of learning how great God's creation is, and how he has like intricately made every single one of us, and the biology behind that through the lens of science. So I think that most of my professors, even though like we are science or we still study science, they always point back to God. So I think that was something that I really, really enjoyed, and really shifted my perspective on like how I study, and how studying is an act of worship and something that I get to do because He's called me to do it. So I think that's something that I really learned while being here.
there was one specific phrase that really helped me throughout my 4 years of college. And someone told me this my very first week of college, actually. And the phrase is, if God brought you here, He will make a way. And I know it sounds so simple, but it truly helped me every time that I was going through a hard moment, or I didn't know like how to get out of a situation, or I didn't see a way out of a problem. I would just remember that no matter what I was facing, God was always there, and that He was gonna make a way, and He did. So that phrase really helped me throughout college, but even till this day, I still remind myself that He's brought me this far in life, and He will always make a way. So yeah.
I think a lot of times when I personally wasn't trying to go to Christian university because ORU, I think, was like the only Christian university I actually applied to, but I feel like a lot of people tend to go to Christian universities to, like, I don't know, maybe stay in their bubbles. I can't say for sure, but I really realized that, like, of course you are in a place where there are a lot of other believers and other people that love Jesus, but at the same time, it's not going to solve all your problems. Like, of course, it gives you an opportunity to work on those problems and heal, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be like, oh, I'm dealing with this kind of thing right here. It's gonna, just because you go to like a Christian university, is gonna solve it. You still have to be diligent in your own relationship with God, and I think, and keeping that up, and also doing your own best to work on those problems, because I think oftentimes people think that going to Christian university may solve everything and everything's going to be happy, which it has not. I think it did help me build community here better, and I think it was a little bit hard for me at first to build community, just because I felt like, wow, everyone's so nice, and like I think I could probably like place myself like with anybody, because a lot of, like, most people here are really strong believers, so I didn't have a problem with that. I think I just it took me a while to figure out who I really wanted to build community with and spend long-term relationships with, but that's something that I kind of learned, and especially with my major, being a STEM major at my Christian university, it's a little bit harder, just because people expect you to be like serving and getting involved in like campus activities like worship center or missions and outreach, which are really great outlets to serve. But I think that at the same time, since it is our first calling and responsibility as students to study, I think that the way that my professors have I guess brought it up was like, yes, there's going to be campus worship, yes, there's going to be prayer movement, yes, there's going to be all of these things, but our first responsibility is to be a student, because that's what we're here for. We're here to learn. So I really felt like when my professors put in the way that like studying is an act of worship and it glorifies His name if we are doing our job as students, so that we can pursue those careers that He has put it in our hearts to pursue, that that's something that I really thought, like, shifted my mindset on, and really trying to study with him, and instead, like, obviously we're studying for him, but also just studying with him to see what he has to say to us. So I think that's something that I learned. Any advice for incoming college students? I would say don't be nervous. I think I was super nervous going into college because it was like the first time I was away from home like 24/7, and then it was my first time doing a lot of things without the guidance of like knowing what's next. I think honestly it would be something that is new, and you are going to make mistakes, and I don't think it's necessarily wrong. I think you just have to learn from your mistakes and you know, keep moving, but also just stay in the word. I think I haven't done a really good job at doing that, but I think that just listening to where God leads you, and seeing where you feel the most at peace with going, I think that's something that that you would always really be able to kind of root yourself in. Pick your friends wisely, I would say that. I mean, depending on where you are, I mean, even if it's not at ORU, I think choosing friends is always a good, it's a wise decision. And I think finding a church community is also really important. And honestly, it's been a process and a testimony that I have been able to finish. I'm almost done with school, one semester left. But it has been a really good testament to say that I have walked through college, and I think a lot of people have different expectations about it. But, you know, I think it's a time where you get to really learn about who you are as a person and how you relate to God. And I think for me, it's been really a good 4 years of trying to figure out my identity in Christ, apart from, like, I guess, family and friends, and just who God's calls me to be, and who God has kind of, I guess, made me as a person to be. So,
word of encouragement or advice that I would give to anyone who's watching right now would be that no matter what stage in life you're at right now, whether it's married, single, in high school, or in college, whatever it is, there's always a plan and a purpose for every season. And seasons don't last forever, so you need to take advantage of what you have now, and you need to be present and enjoy the blessings that God is giving you now, even when it seems like it's not the best season in your life. There's always a purpose in that, and the Lord wants you to be surrounded by people in every season. So He also wants you to be intentional and loving with the people that you have around you right now. And yeah, never take that for granted, because seasons don't last forever.